Wow. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Wonderful. So we're just waiting for a few more still got a couple more entering the waiting room. Just encourage you guys to settle in your space. I hope you're wearing comfortable clothing for the movement for tonight. Also, if you have any scents or oils, to get you in the mood, I'd encourage that. I see some familiar faces here. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Yanting, past retreat participants, thanks for joining us tonight. Just incredible just seeing everyone in one space here. All right. Hey, I think, how are we doing, Ming? Is there anyone else to let in? Shall we begin?
Yeah, I think we can begin.
So I'd just like to encourage all of you, if you can, we like to see everybody so we can connect better in this space. So I'd encourage you to switch on your videos if possible. There will be moments where you get to switch them off when we engage in the practices. Oh, beautiful. Great to see your beautiful faces. Okay. So everybody, I am Krystal from Blue Sky Escapes. Hi, Rocky. Good to see you again. So tonight is really a little prelude to our upcoming retreats, Awakening New Patterns, that's happening 6th to 8th of March and 13th to 15th of March as well. So we are incredibly excited and honored to be collaborating with Danielle Van de Velde, Stephanie Bovis and Wil Kolen on this. So tonight we'd like to take you on a journey that explores bite-sized nuggets of their work and something which we will deep dive into during the retreats. So I wanted to just share a little bit more. So typically our retreat follows a certain trajectory. Those of you who have been, I see some of you here, Winters as well, good to see you. So it's something that's also going to form the basis for tonight. There's the shedding, there's the rebalancing, and then there's the emergence. So some of you have asked about the programming flow, so I will share just a little bit in brief. So on day one, generally, we work on like the shaking off, the shedding of our layers to really make space for healing to flow. So that is through active meditations, which are being hosted by Steph. There's also going to be a death meditation that Danny is going to be hosting, and that's really to prompt introspection and ready yourself, your body and your mind for day two. Day two is a day of silence. So the idea, it's purely optional, of course. The idea is that instead of expending energy outwards, you're reserving that to further retreat inwards. So the focus is really about rebalancing, through mindful movement like Qigong, also cutting through the noise. So we'll be using rhythm as a means to enter a more present state. So that's going to be hosted by Will. He'll be hosting some meditative drumming circles, which is something I'm deeply passionate about because I truly believe in meditative drumming. I use the djembe to help me, bypass the thinking mind on a daily basis, something that Will share a little bit more about later on as well. So each person will get their own drum. So the afternoon time will be reserved for journaling, and there'll be guided instruction by Danny as well. It will all culminate in a kind of a fire ceremony, and that's in the late afternoon. So the idea is that we want to release any kind of limiting beliefs, things that do not serve us. So there's an element of cleansing on the second day. So in the evening then comes with more nourishment with a guided sound and visualization journey. And then, of course, with the day three, we focus on the re-emergence. It all culminates with the peak of our experience with this, which is really a dynamic meditation, which is hosted by Steph. So this is a practice that you can find. You can only find it at our retreats. It's only being shared here at our retreats. So no other practitioner can facilitate this right at the moment in Singapore but Steph. So something that we are very proud about. So it's really designed to kick up whatever is left in your body that needs releasing. And then we go through a process of, which is really important, activation, using movement as a means to activate new patterns and to call in new paradigms as well. So this is where we break silence. And then Danny will be facilitating a reintegration, something which is, I find so key to any retreat, that you ensures that you leave with the practical tools that to take with you into the outside world. So then we will wrap up the day with the celebration of emergence. So that's through rhythm, more meditative drumming with Will, and also coupled with ecstatic dance, my favorite. We had one participant that once described us as a spiritual discotheque, so to speak. So, you know, you can't go clubbing in Singapore, you can't go to any nightclubs, but you can definitely dance at our retreat. So really excited about that. So that is the flow of the retreat in a nutshell. So today is really a prelude and a taster of what you can expect at the retreats. But also, you know, for those of you who can't make it, it's also, of course, a chance for you to learn about some very easy to implement practices that you can do at home if you ever need like a little pick-me-up or a bit of self-love. So if you have any questions, we will stay behind after the session. But in the meantime, I invite all of you to just relax and soak it all in. Thank you, guys. Danny, over to you.
Thanks so much, Krystal, and hi everybody. It's lovely to see all these faces on the screen, and thank you for your time, and lots of familiar faces, so lovely. And thank you for your time, a little midweek treat. And so further to what Krystal said, one of the reasons why I absolutely love collaborating with Blue Sky Escapes is the attention to detail on the curated journey. And we called it very intentionally emergence of new patterns. And the reason for that is that our behavioural operating systems, the way that we respond to life, the way that we respond within our relational fields, underneath the words and the actions and those behaviours are all vibrational patterns. And so what we're seeking to do, and we've called it the emergence of new patterns, is it's very easy to intellectualize and almost over-intellectualize when we're looking to, you know, release what doesn't work for us anymore and seed something new and make an intentional choice to operate in a different way, in a more expansive way. And if we consider everything, including our body, as organized vibrational patterns, then it's much easier to understand what the journey is that's being curated, because we've got a short amount of time together, but all the elements are there for deep transformation without the critical mind. So there will be times of journaling where you can sort of assimilate things that are coming through for you. We'll give you lots of journaling prompts, but the main thing is we're taking you through a journey which is largely a journey of vibrational patterns that are curated for exactly what Krystal described. So first of all, to shake it up and loosen, well, actually primarily to disrupt your day-to-day. And that's why it's on site at the beautiful Villa Samadhi, because it removes you from all those conversations, the work pressures and all the usual stuff which is informing your phenomenal universe. And it slots you into a place of great beauty, of great safety, and also primarily a large part of it is silence, as Krystal said, to rotate the awareness inwards and be still with yourself and allow the intelligence of your system to reveal what it is that you're ready to jettison and what it is that you're ready to seed. And so these somatic practices work at a much deeper level of spirit to loosen. I like to use the sort of farming analogies, you know, to sort of survey the land, to loosen the hard old roots that are no longer growing and that are taking up space and taking up life force, to intentionally release them, turn over the soil of your soul bed, and then intentionally seed new patterns to germinate and grow. And it's for this reason that we have timed the retreats on the lead up to the spring equinox. So we're like, you know, just a smidge in the Northern Hemisphere, but you can already sense the turn in the light. You can already see it within the wilderness. You know, we had a funny planning call the other day and we all shared how many butterflies we've seen coming out of cocoons and how many animals we're seeing that are mating. And if you get into the jungles at the moment, you'll notice how many seeds are being released by. So the whole wild field is actually going through the same kind of transformation. And in shamanism particularly, which is what sort of a wisdom school that I'm bringing to the retreats, is that wild field is accessible and also can be put to use for our own individual transformative work. So the timing is very key. The location is very key. You'll be encouraged to even hand in your phones, or at least limit your access to the patterns that you're disrupting, so that you've got a really free, beautiful psychic space and energetic space to get to work. And you will leave the retreat, if you choose to join us, changed. So there'll be a moment where we'll ask you to look back at the state that you were in and what you were putting your life force into when you arrived, and how that has shifted when you leave. And it'll be a marked difference. And so that's really the idea of the underlying energies, the curation of it. And that goes right down, the attention to detail is amazing. It goes right down to the nourishment. It goes right down to the practices themselves, the space, and also the maintenance of a beautiful safe space where you can go in deep and go in as far as you want to go. Some of you might like to surface, some of you might be ready to go in, but either way, you're going to create inner change, which then by its nature and the nature of life will translate to outer change around you and within your relationships and so on. So that's really what I wanted to add at this point. You'll obviously see a lot of ritual within the retreat as well, and it's the same idea. Ritual subverts the critical mind and creates and generates new vibrational patterns at a deeper, more creative level of self. And the rest then rolls out automatically, because that's the way that we're designed. So we're working with our innate design, and we're working with principles of vibrational transformation. So on that note, I'm going to hand you over to Steph, who's going to explain some of the principles of her work and then give you a little bit of a taster.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Krystal, for introducing this whole beautiful event that's put together. And I'm probably new to most of you, or I'm not too familiar with who you are. So I thought I'd take this time to not only introduce myself, but also what to expect, or the things that I do, essentially. What is it that what are the gifts that I have for you? What are the services I have? However you want to say it, what is it that I want to share? So I'll take this few moments. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher here in Singapore, along with a few other things, but this is sort of the root of who I am. The style of yoga that I tend to share is mostly in the yin yoga practice, more emphasis on the breath, more emphasis on the meditative aspects of yoga. And I also share meditations, active meditations, mindfulness meditations. And for the purposes of this retreat, I'll be sharing active meditations. Now, Krystal, you did say that there were a few members who have been to previous retreats. So I'm sure that you've met my dearest friend, sister, and most important mentor in my life, Amber Sawyer, who I've essentially learned everything from. She extracted everything that she could from Maitreya, and then I from her, and I'm essentially sort of a channel for what she has taught me. And I'm very honored, and I feel very privileged to be able to share this with you. So let me just talk about what we're going to do today. Today, I thought that I would share with you a little bit of a mixture of what the essence of active meditations are. One on a more active end of the spectrum, and another that's a little bit more passive, that uses more subtle sounds. But let me back up a second and share what active meditations are, because if you don't know what they are, you might be a little bit confused, right? Active meditation, aren't meditations just someone sitting in stillness with their eyes closed, breathing peacefully? Right? And that's what you think meditation is. And it's funny because on the outside, I might look so peaceful and restored and centered, but on the inside, you have no idea what's going on in there right now. Nerves, is the stew burning on the stove? Have my dogs eaten? It's a monkey mind in there. So these active meditations are essentially a way to use conscious movement. We're doing something in a conscious way to then bring us into the state of silence and non-doing. And even if you experience that little sliver of moment of emptiness, that is a sliver more than you did just a few moments ago. And just want to say that these methods are not my own. They were created by a rather colorful and controversial man named Osho. His teachings were quite prolific, but he does have a few various books that are really profound. And what he left behind were these really nicely packaged active meditations. And they're all structured. They all come in stages. They're all quite scientifically bound together. And even though the movements or the actions can vary, they all have the same intention. And that is to bring us into the state of non-doing. That is to bring us into the state of stillness, because it's very difficult to meditate when you are not rested. So we're trying to really shake off the layers to then bring us to this core that is ourselves, just this moment of stillness. Okay, so another thing to note, I think, is that there's a huge spectrum of these active meditations. There are some that are very active. And actually on this retreat, we're going to be doing more of the active end of the spectrum. Okay, we'll actually be doing the most active of all active meditations, called dynamic meditation on the last day, which is one that really asks you to show up. It asks you to put down your masks and really just commit and give it your all, in both individually and for the benefit of the collective. And I'm sure by the third day, you'll feel ready to do that. But on the first day, we're going to be moving through a nice, beautiful Kundalini dance meditation, shake and flow, and that'll really set you off on a beautiful retreat. But for tonight, I thought that we would all, since there's been quite a few of us talking, I thought that we would all just take this moment to shake off the day, the week, any anxieties or just remnants of tension that I know we all have, because no one here is peaceful. Let's be honest. We all have something going on. So we're going to do this through gibberish. And then we're going to move into a very short humming meditation so that you can experience something that's a little bit more subtle, a technique that's a little more passive, but then the power of that presence when we come out of the technique. So I thought I would just describe both, and then we'll just move into both as opposed to splitting them up. So with gibberish, we're essentially going to be talking in a nonsensical manner, in a language that we do not comprehend. We want to move our face and stretch our face in ways that we would never show anyone else. And this is when we're going to, have that option to turn off the video. You'll move your hands, you'll shake your shoulders. We just want to let go of the day. So I'll demonstrate it for you, and then you'll sort of get the idea. Okay. So very interesting to share this virtually, because I don't have anyone laughing at me as a result of that demonstration. So I really, right now, I feel energy flowing. I feel things shaken up. But once I end it, and you'll know when to end because I will ring my gong, that moment of just, it's like nothingness, even if only for just a short moment. Okay, so we'll do 2 rounds of this so that you can first, get over yourself in that first round, because you're self-conscious and, I don't know what I'm doing here, right? So you'll get the hang of it. The second round, go deeper, really commit. You're on your own. You're in front of your computer. This is the perfect opportunity for you to shake off the anxieties of your day, okay? And then for the second round, we're going to move into a humming meditation where I will play some music. And then for about 5 minutes, I'm going to have you just hum to yourself. We're not in a group, so you don't need to worry about keeping this vibration lifted. This is just for you. You're going to settle with the vibration of your own pitch, your own melody. I just thought it'd be really fitting that, Wil is going to take us into this beautiful sound journey where we can absorb. Let's clear it out. Let's just get things moving. Let's get the vibration inside to then prepare us for Wil's magic. Okay, so an example of a humming vibration would be we're seated tall. Okay, we'd like to imagine our body is this hollow bamboo instrument. Right? Instruments can't play if they're being filled in. They have to be hollow and expansive. So that's what we're going to do with our bodies. Our mouths will be closed, but our jaw will be nice and loose. We're relaxed. And let's inhale, take a nice deep breath, expand the rib cage. And so on and so forth. Okay, you're going to use your own rhythm, your own breath cycle. Don't force anything. Don't try to do the loudest hum ever. Okay, notice when your striving mind comes in, just start to hum and we'll see how that goes. Okay. I will then ring the bell and then just stay silent. Don't open your eyes. Don't look at what anyone else is doing. Just feel the resonance. So that's enough for me. Let's start by preparing ourselves for a little 2 short rounds of gibberish just to let go of our days. Okay, so this is when you can turn off your camera, but no one really cares. Everyone's inside, so please keep your eyes closed. All right, so find a nice tall spine, just relax into the shoulders and the body. Okay, when you hear the gong, start your round of gibberish. Pause. Feel. Second round, a little longer and go deeper. Just find your soft, natural breath. Feel the sensations around your body. And as you hear the music, you can begin your gentle hums quietly to yourself. Just finish your last round. Just feel the resonance of the vibration produced by your own instrument. You might notice the dissipation of your thoughts, even just momentarily, or the nature of your thoughts. We can come back by gently smiling our eyes open. Just wanted to say that this is a fantastic method, not necessarily to do in the context of a meditation class. You can hum anytime, anywhere. And especially with, in this day and age with our masks, even more of a reason to hum on the train or before you have that nervous conversation with your boss or partner. It's a fantastic way to soothe the nervous system. Those long exhales really activate that rest and digest response. You immediately feel a sense of calm. And not just that, you're bringing vibration into your vocal cords. You're bringing oxygenation and blood flow into your face, right? You're bringing life into there. So I use this technique not just in the context of an active meditation, but also just in my day-to-day. Before I have to speak, I hummed my butt off before I had to speak to you. So hopefully you found that short little snippet of this technique in the active meditation beneficial, and I'd love to hear from you at some point afterwards. So that's all from me for now. I will pass the mic over to Will. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for this wonderful experience. And it's a great connection to the next part that we're entering, which is related to sound and rhythm. My name is Will. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with me. I've seen some familiar faces amongst the group of participants here tonight. I'm a sound practitioner, a sound therapist. I work with energy, Reiki energy, and also shamanic practitioner. I'm also, since young, a musician. I've been playing instruments, various instruments. I'm still recording music. Been playing in bands since I was a child. As a teenager, let's say. But I had my own little band walking through the neighborhood where people were following me. The kids were following me behind me as I was playing my drum. And that is where we're getting into rhythm and this beautiful example just now by using your own voice as point of perspective to create your own space, to come into yourself and to calm yourself down. It's all part of the vibrational, organized vibrational patterns which Dani mentioned at the beginning that we can create for ourselves. Also for me, like Stephanie just now, I create a sort of cocoon when I'm walking through a busy street or busy shopping mall to sort of protect myself from other people, and I create my own melody, my own humming, to just be in my own space. And that's something that is very easy for everyone. You have your own instrument here. This is the most important instrument for us in our lives here. Yeah. So back to rhythm. As a child, I was living next to a busy road. So it's a little bit of a history how I got into sound therapy and music in general. I was living next to a busy road at the age of 2, from the age of 2, with my parents. And my first memory is actually my parents buying me a drum when I was 2.5 years old. And they bought this drum not so much because they thought I would become a good musician or I was talented or anything. I was damaging furniture in the house. So they gave me something to beat on. Yeah, that was a simple drum with rubber skin these drawings on the side, tin drum. And I was very persistent playing that. A few years later, they bought me a real snare drum because I was so serious with this, and that continued until I was about 12. And in the meantime, we had moved to a quieter neighborhood. And that's where my urge to play drums subsided. Now, when I started studying for sound therapy, I came across a research in the book by Joshua Leeds, The Power of Sound, where it's mentioned that periodic rhythms and non-periodic rhythms have influence on our minds, on our brain, and on our personal development. So as a child, if you're living next to a busy road, we have constant traffic, and constant traffic, as with any mechanical sound, is part of non-periodical sounds, which actually triggers our brain to try to catch up with everything that's happening. As humans, we are naturally connected to nature. We are part of nature. And therefore, periodical rhythms, like the movement of the sea, the movement of wind, the sound of crickets, anything related to nature, has a positive and calming effect on us. On the other hand, non-periodic sounds, mechanical sounds, have a stressing effect on us. And especially for children who are still in a developmental state, living in a busy environment where you're triggered constantly with different rhythms, unpredictable sounds that are coming and going, the mind starts to change and tries to manage that. And therefore also a lot of times what you may find is that children who are living in busy environments and dealing with a lot of different things while they are flexible at the same time, the influence of so many non-periodical rhythms may have an influence on their learning abilities, focus, everything that is connected to our growth, our natural growth into a mature human being, to be able to concentrate and work through our normal patterns. So therefore, connecting to nature, as you may have found yourself every now and then, if you're standing next to the seaside, you're naturally starting to calm down. After you've gone through a walk in the woods, you naturally are calmer, because you're connecting to everything that moves around you with you as a human being. You become part of that whole. So through working with sound, we're connecting to that vibration in the same manner. Yeah, so there's what Stephanie mentioned as well. We also have our monkey mind. Yeah, so we have our sound internally constantly going. And that is another aspect that is our main challenge oftentimes, besides the external sounds that might trigger stress responses. Our internal sound, if we cannot come to a resolve with that, leads to also to stress and discomfort. So our hearing mechanism, the external sounds that are coming in through our hearing mechanism, but also through our skin and bones, the vibrations when we feel, especially with lower frequencies, if we remember that we went clubbing once upon a time, and we stepped into the club and the sound, you could feel that vibration, or if you're going to concerts, you can feel that vibration through your body. So that is one part that we're receiving. We're receiving through our ears. And our ears are connected to a neurological system that runs through our body, to the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is connected to a parasympathetic neural system. And that means the parasympathetic is the automatic responses with our heartbeat, our breathing, and our digestive system are connected to. So when we get triggered through our hearing with sounds, either we can stimulate our heart rate and our breathing by excitement, through excitement, so it goes faster, or we can relax it. And that is coming through our ears, through our vagus nerve, into our body. So basically it's sound is as important as adhering to a healthy diet for food. So that is something that a lot of people are not aware of. Our hearing also develops at the 4th or 5th month, before we are born, so as a fetus. We already become familiar with our environment around us, the heartbeat of a mother, all kinds of other sounds that are part of our environment before we are born. So once we are born, only a few weeks after, we get to see, but our hearing is already fully intact. So we're already connecting with everything around us. Our hearing also never sleeps. Our ears are always open. Therefore, we have alarm clocks and everything. It's something that alerts us. So these kind of things are important to reconnect to, and also from a vibrational point of view, especially connecting to the periodical sounds. Everything has rhythm. Our body is vibrating. Our table that we're sitting at is vibrating. Everything is vibrating on a molecular level. And we can influence that. We can take care of that. And we can become part of one vibration. Again, organized vibrational patterns, as Danny mentioned, is basically the harmonization of everything to coming together is as one in a what you may have felt with your own voice as well. It's a harmonization with yourself, with your own physical body, with your own mind. Everything is connected. Yeah, so everything what we have around us and in us is connected through vibration. Yeah, so this sound, if we're dealing with this as a nutritional part of our lives, we can help ourselves and our well-being and others through that as well. Because of our own state, we're lifting others through that. That is our intention. And with intention, coming to that point, also the intention of this retreat, the intention of self, of yourself, attending to any session that you might benefit from. With that intention, you start growing change. It's the intention, it's not just the sounds or anything that you receive, but it's working through the intention of what you would like to achieve. So if you're attending any session, it doesn't matter whether it's sound, yoga, or anything else, meditation, once you set the intention for change and you adhere to that, you follow through over time. It may not happen immediately, but it will happen over time, as long as you have a clear intention that you hold on to. And that's where change will happen. So this is something that you may experience a little bit tonight. We have very little time here to move through a few things. So the one thing is rhythm, where I'll be playing a little bit of drums and you'll get to follow. The other part is 20 minutes sound session. That is a pre-recorded session. You will get a link later on to log on to, and I will guide you in the beginning into that session to connect to inner stillness. You know, with stillness, every note starts with stillness. Yeah, there's no music that continues, no sound that continues. The stillness is there, and that's where everything begins. It's the same with seasons as well. Dani mentioned nature. The seeds are in the ground over winter time and will come out in that moment of stillness where the change happens. So these kind of things are also, we are part of that as well. We are part of nature, as mentioned. So we are all we're connecting to one and the same thing. And through sound and the experiences with rhythm, we can move through that. We can change things for ourselves. Rhythm, what you will be experiencing tonight, is slightly different from what you will experience if you join us for the retreat later on. It will be a group session in the retreat, so you will get the benefit of playing together with others, which has ritually in the background of indigenous people, indigenous cultures. It has a celebratory kind of function. It's a gathering. It's always a positive aspect to it. It's a joint experience for all that are taking part in that. So while you're benefiting as a person yourself, you're also giving to others in your circle of people to connect through the sound of rhythm. Tonight, with your microphones off, my microphone will be on, you will be joining me in a very simple rhythm. So I don't know the extent of your connection to rhythm itself, but we will start with a very simple rhythm that will last for about 8 minutes. And this rhythm, you don't have a drum. I have a drum here. It's a djembe. Oh, it's a bit blurry now. I will bring it up somehow. I have to hold it close to my face, then it's in focus. So this is a djembe. This kind of instruments you will get to connect to on the retreat, at the retreat, to join in a circle with playing basic rhythms to get into a meditative state. Now, what you might notice tonight as well is that after 5 minutes, you may go like, okay, what time is it? You start checking time and all that. I would like to ask you to just go with it and not look at the time, because eventually when you're really giving over to this, time doesn't exist. And it's the same for sound sessions, meditation. When you get into this other space, to strengthen yourself, to create change. You just move through this. Was I muted for a while?
Sorry, I was gonna admit a participant, but it ended up clicking
Okay.
to you. Yes, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Okay. So, so there's this movement through rhythm that will create a sense of inner being, which I would like you to connect to. Now, you don't have a drum at your space there. I would like to ask you to use your own body to gently tap. And you can, if I lower my camera a little bit, you can tap your higher chest and your belly area. You don't have to do it now. I'm just giving you an example. So once I start playing a rhythm, which will be very basic rhythm, then just follow that rhythm. Or you can use your knees and thighs to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go from your knees 1, 2 to your thighs 3, 4. So that's your left hand, right hand work. Yeah. Just that, and we will follow a sort of shamanic rhythm that's 4 to 7 beats per second, which is taking you into a theta state if it goes long enough. So this rhythm will support you to relax as well. At the same time, I would like to ask you to take note of your breath as a slow breath, sitting up straight, and slow breath for yourself. We'll get into other breathing later on when we start the sound session. So after the drumming is done, we'll move into just a little bit of silence, and then we'll introduce the sound session that will start afterwards, where I'll guide you into breathing and relaxation for a few minutes while you're listening to the track. So keep your Zoom active while you're going to the link later on, and I'll be talking over that piece of introduction. So for now, I would like you to sit up. I'm putting something on the floor here to rest my djembe on. I hope the neighbors are not going to complain soon. Because it's a little bit later, we'll play. I won't play too loud. So this is my djembe here. And the rhythm I would like you to follow is just this. That's it. It's very simple. Yeah, hopefully. And that is something that you can do on your body. So what it takes is coordination. And in the beginning, you may find yourself like a little bit all over the place if you're not used to playing rhythms, even with this simple rhythm of this kind of coordination, or you use your knees and thighs, as I mentioned. But allow yourself just to go with it. Try not to correct yourself or go like, oh shit, I can't do this. Just be with it and it will come. Yeah, just allow yourself to connect to that rhythm. All right, we take about 8 minutes. Take note of the time. And just, you can switch your cameras off if you like, if you feel that it's a bit awkward to sit tapping in the image here. So again, this is not exactly an experience, as I mentioned, for the group drumming, but it takes you into the connection to rhythm and the physical connection of feeling the rhythm with your body. Yeah, so let's go ahead with this 8 minutes of drumming and try to just focus, go within and be with you and your rhythm only. And slow down your breath, calming down, and try to keep that breath slow. You don't have to move along with the rhythm. The breath is something that manages itself at some point. Just to slow down your breath from your belly area. You can connect to your breath again as you're sitting up here. And feel if anything changed for you at this stage. We'll get back to that later when we get time to respond to the sessions. As we're moving on to the sound segment, I'm usually running sessions live in a space where people lie down on the floor comfortably with a pillow on a mat, sometimes covered because temperature might change over the duration of a sound session. And unfortunately tonight we can't be together in one space here, so we will listen to a track. This track has been placed on a special, on a private site where the link has been given. Don't open the link yet. I will indicate when to start listening to it. So my sessions, as mentioned, are held in a space so people also feel the sound. And that might be the main difference for you tonight, that you don't really get to be in the space together with the instruments that are being played and not physically feel. But the immersion through the stereo sound and the high quality recording will support you into a moment, internal space to disappear into. Even if it's only for 20 minutes, you will find at the end of the 20 minutes, most likely that you may have missed some time, however strange that may sound. Yeah, so while everything is coming through your ears only, this immersion of sound, because of the stereo image, the binaural sounds that are happening, which are working your brain also in a stereo image, left-right balancing, will move through your body, as mentioned also, into your body, affecting the parasympathetic nervous system, regulating your breath differently. Now with this, I would like you to start lying down or start relaxing yourself. And as with this session, even though it's only 20 minutes, and with any sound session, sound, as we mentioned before, is a vibrational energy that will affect you on a mental, emotional, physical and spiritual level to different extents for everybody. But we're all connected to that at a similar level. It's how much we are allowing oftentimes determines what we are receiving, what we can work with. Yeah, so it's also up to you how you are working with this. So I'd like you to disconnect from everything around you. Place your earphones in. It's very important to have earphones for this session, otherwise you will not get the benefits of the deep sound quality that you will be getting. And you can now click on the link. So that's the link given. I'll open it as well, see where it brings us. So you will see a track, Blue Sky Escapes, an Evening of Awakening. Yeah, so I would like you to connect to the intention before we start. For some of you, maybe the link might start automatically. I would like you to pause it until we get going. The intention for this session is connecting to inner stillness to allow the awakening to happen. As mentioned before, sound starts with stillness, change starts with the same thing, connecting to self in stillness. Going within before we can go outward again. So if you have the link ready, make yourself comfortable in a reclined position. If you're sitting on a chair, what can happen when you start relaxing, your head can bob forwards. I mean, sometimes people might doze off a little bit. Close your eyes or wear an eye mask if you have that, and dim the lights to create a private environment for yourself. You don't have distractions. And I will guide you into the relaxation bit. So I would like you to start now. The session will take about 20 minutes. Start connecting to your breath. Breathing in from your belly area, the abdomen, at your own pace. Breathing in and hold for a short moment before releasing. And then when released, when you are at the end of breath, hold for a short moment, for a few seconds, in stillness at the end of breath, before inhaling again. This may be a new cycle of breath for you to get used to. Take your time. So inhale, hold your breath for a moment, release, and at the end of breath, sit there for a few seconds in stillness, relaxing your abdomen, just being there. You may notice that when you sit in stillness and you focus on that moment of stillness at the end of breath, your mind will naturally start to calm down. And you're connecting only to breath while you're moving through the sounds. Inhale, hold for a short moment, release, and at the end of breath, sit in stillness for a few seconds before inhaling again. And try to stay connected to this breath while listening to the track. And relax your body from your feet to your shoulders, to your crown of your head, as you're moving through the cycle of breath. At the end of the track, you will hear a bell, and I will come back to you after about 20 minutes. Gently start moving your hands and fingers, moving your feet, stretching your legs, stretching your arms. Most of you will have reached the end of the session. Gently come back into your space. You can place your tongue against your palate to create a sense of headspace. And at your own pace, you can come back into a seating position and spend a bit more time, a few minutes in silence, just to be here. And just sit in silence for a while. Just taking your time. I guess we're all back into active mode. Usually a session would take 45 minutes to about an hour, and with a little bit longer time to come back out of it. So this is a short experience in receiving sound and moving to different sound patterns, connecting to this. And oh, there's Amanda. Hi, Amanda. Yes, I remember, ex-student. Good. Nice to see you here. So we can, if you like, you can leave responses in the chat, or you can, we'll be extending our stay online here for a bit to give some feedback on every session that you have experienced tonight. I'll hand it back to Dani first now, who will share the closing of tonight's experience. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for being here and paying attention to yourself, so you also can take care of others in the meantime. Thank you.
Thank you, Wil. And so within this beautiful state of stillness and calm, I really invite you, before you come fully back out into your evening and into your space, to observe how you're feeling now in comparison to how you felt when you joined our prelude earlier this evening. Notice the character of your natural breath, smooth, deepening. You can sense the spaciousness created within your mental field. Still thoughts that come and go, but less tugging for your attention. You may be able to feel a beautiful softening in your body. And some of you may be able to sense that more palpable presence of vital life force in the palms of your hands in the form of heat or vibration, and also possibly in the soles of your feet. In a state of calm alignment, the vital life force of your system is much more easily perceived. So very gently now, bringing a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching, very gently. We understand that we've taken a little bit more time than anticipated. And I want to thank Will and thanks, Deb, for your beautiful practices. I cannot wait to do the full, long, collective, in-person versions of these. Just fantastic. And I understand it's very late, but if anyone would like to stay on, if you have any questions for our practitioners, or if you have any questions about the ritual or any other elements of the retreat, we're staying on for a few more minutes and we'd be really happy to answer those for you. Lovely comments. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Sleep well.
Yes, rest well, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm so excited to sleep. You have no idea. Thank you, Will, for that.
Great.
Oh gosh, I did not want to wake up at all.
Yeah, and it's only 20 minutes.
I know.
It's a gorgeous track, Will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Really beautiful.
I'm assuming it's available on Spotify or SoundCloud?
No, this was a private set for tonight.
Okay.
So I don't have anything on Spotify, I only use SoundCloud at this point.
Okay.
So there's longer sessions available there as well. I started creating these at the beginning of the lockdown because I couldn't run any live sessions anymore to give people the experience online instead.
Steph, the gibberish is so interesting, isn't it? You know, it really, first of all, it was fantastic for me given my day, but children do it naturally, don't they? Like babies do it. They move their faces and there's something very innate in the gibberish, which I love.
I mean, babies cry and have that cathartic outburst whenever they want. And like they just, the moment tension rises, it's like, let's cleanse it off and then move on with our day.
Yeah, but it's not always crying. You know, my babies are also used to do gibberish, you know, move their mouths around and make all funny little sounds, you know. It's obviously another very innate, natural form of release. Yeah.
Yeah, no, especially if you can't explain why you're feeling a certain way, you know? You're like, I'm pissed off, I don't know why.
Yeah. You know, I used to see my two though, like when they would gibber, if that's the word, is that the verb? But not only when they were sort of upset or their little nervous systems are overwrought, like it was sort of also like, I guess, early form of language, but a real expression of joy is what you could see, that they could feel the effect of the gibbering.
There's also the movements with hands and all that kind of expression, right? Yeah.
Bit like the progressive muscle release, you know. But I mean, all of these sort of practices really play into the innate system, don't they? And that's why they're so effective. Like it's not artificial to the human design. Fascinating.
Well said.
I wanted it to go longer, actually.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
can-
loved it.
Yes. Yeah, it's great.
Because it's a bit like facial yoga as well. Like if you really get into it, you sort of really, it's good for you. I feel like I've had a bit of a facelift. Always good.
Yeah.